Today's topic is how to eliminate no-show interviews when hiring commission-only sales reps. Before we dive in, for anyone watching this video for the first time or hasn't checked out anything else that we do, we are high ticket teams. My name's Jay. We help volume-based recruiting businesses build commission-only sales teams at scale. I had a pretty large exit from a B2B lending company that we founded and started. Took us about 3.5 years. The way we grew that company is with commission-only sales reps. We brought on about 1,800 reps over the course of 3.5 years. Ended up with that big exit. We grew it to multiple 8 figures to the date of this video last summer. So the problems we solve, we take those exact same concepts because most business owners who end up doing volume-based commission-only sales recruiting end up pretty much just doing it for themselves, not other people. So usually the trade secrets are all hidden within the ranks of most companies that are successful out there. We wanted to be able to take the concepts that we learned over time, and be able to give you guys the content, the know-how, the whys, pretty much for free, but also have a service that helps solve your problems. So we don't just tell you what to do. We help you source, we help you vet, and we put you in a position to qualify sales reps at scale. That's what we do. Leveraging AI, leveraging system sequences. We have a tool called the Recruiter OS that could help any business do this successfully. We'll talk more about that as we go, but let's get into, again, today's topic, which is how to eliminate no-show interviews when hiring commission-only sales reps. Even if you take one thing out of this video that can help you progress, increase your show-up rates, help you buy back some time on your calendar, we have done our job. Okay. Of course, it helps our channel, it helps our company and things like that, but you're not here to help us. We're here to help you by liking and subscribing. We do a lot of giveaways. We do a lot of masterminds. We do a lot of private sessions where we offer free applicants to people who are not our clients to be able to help you guys get on the right foot. When you subscribe, you'll be the first to know about that stuff, and it'll provide an avenue for us to be able to get that information out there. So before we jump in, what is volume-based recruiting? Let's establish some rules for this training. If you're sitting there going, you know what, volume-based recruiting sounds intriguing. I would love to bring on a bunch of commission-only sales reps into my organization. I've never done it before. So this concept is brand new to me. Of course, we've got a lot of video content to help you get launched and help you in that process. But most of you who are going to be watching this video are already doing this successfully, and you're looking to throw gasoline on the fire of your current operation so you can explode and grow even further. Traditional HR recruiting practices don't work in volume-based recruiting. If you were a recruiter by trade in corporate America, or if you worked for corporate America and now started your own business, or maybe you've hired 1 or 2 commission-only sales reps at a time, and you're sitting there in your mind going, man, it just doesn't work. Headache. It's because you're probably applying traditional recruiting thought processes, belief systems, sequences, cadences, and mechanisms to be able to succeed in this, and it just doesn't work. You have to apply sales and marketing methodologies to be able to bring on a sales team. Are we here to sell people? No, that's not the entire objective. Of course, people who are looking for jobs are always selling themselves. As a business owner, if you're looking to bring people on into your organization, you obviously have to sell yourself too, to be able to create that partnership. So yes, of course, you're an entrepreneur, everything in life, down to me marrying my wife. That was the biggest sales game ever. Okay. So was able to bring her on, and that is one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. But anyway, you all understand this concept. We need to be able to apply sales and marketing methodologies and infrastructure to be able to bring on commission-based sales teams, because it has to happen fast and it has to happen efficiently. And you have to have enough people starting at one time for the process to work. Pitch, posture, preconditioning, and leadership frameworks. Along with those sales and marketing methodologies, you have to have a sequence of personal interactions with candidates to where, yes, you're selling yourself, but you are interviewing people as well. So you have to have the correct posturing mechanisms in your process. And then you got to pitch again, right? Because once they're bought in, or once you're bought in to the candidate, now you got to make sure they come on board with you, and you got to sell yourself, but you got to precondition them, and you got to lead them down the right track. What is the difference between, in my opinion, leadership and manipulation? I think I stole this from Jocko Willing. He said the difference between leadership and manipulation is a fine line. Leadership is doing something to somebody for somebody. Manipulation is doing something to somebody for your own benefit. specifically and only. Okay. That is tricking people. It's immoral. It's unethical. It's flat out. And even if you are successful for a very short period of time, you're building something on a house of cards and it will flat out not work. It'll all crumble under your feet. So don't do it. Okay. If I can tell you anything, just don't do it. We don't work with any clients that do this, nor should you do it. You're going to get booted off of every platform. It's just wrong. When you're building a commission only sales team, you're looking to attract entrepreneurial people. They have to have just as strong of an opportunity to be able to progress to their goals as you're trying to progress to yours. It has to be a win for the clients, win for your reps, and win for you. And if it's not, you're tricking people. It's immoral, it's unethical, and it's flat out wrong. So let's talk about our story growing the B2B sales, the B2B lending business. It was a unique company infrastructure. It's one of my favorite type of infrastructure. It was a high ticket sale on the front end and then ways to generate revenue on the back end. So we sold a product to businesses and lending and coaching and consulting, and to be able to build the credit of the business itself. Okay. Now, if you Google that type of thing all over the internet, it's all over the place. There were 3 different ways that we sourced applicants. Okay. We had every single day for 3.5 years, we had 20 plus interviews booked every single day of one-on-one interviews from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. at night, every single day. And there was a handful of people that conducted those interviews. 50% of those people that booked onto your calendar for an interview didn't show, which wasted precious calendar time. It freed up little 30-minute increment blocks that you can't do anything with. It's very hard to go from constant interviews back to back and then shift your mind to go do something else, right? You got to be all in all the time with the people you're talking to. And if you're dealing with the no-shows, if you're dealing with that waste of time, it was difficult. So it worked, but you waste a lot more time than you actually want to. We did group interviews. Again, 50% didn't show. These are normal numbers, by the way. Okay. This wasn't just a problem we face. If you're watching this video and you do this at all to any level of scale, you're also facing it yourself, but 50% didn't show. Calendars were booked way too far post group interview. So we would conduct a group interview with 5, 8, 12, 20, 30 people on the group interview. And then we had the call to action at the end to be able to complete the one-on-one interviews or the one-on-one phone calls to potentially lead towards a hiring discussion. But we were losing people because there were so many people interested after a group that people were booking a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days out. And then they were just losing steam in the discussion. In base recruiting, that conversation has to be at maximum, have to be 7 to 10 days. And if you work in insurance or merchant services or any type of role where there's a volume-based recruiting element to it, the more entry level the role is, the tighter that time window has to be. Okay. So if you're insurance or merchant services, that have to be max 3 to 5 days. For us, we were looking for senior people that were senior in their career, like 15, 20 years of experience to represent our product. And they had more of a bandwidth to be able to go through the learning curve of the process and engage with our team. And that was a good 7 to 10 day window of time, which was strong for us. Okay. So you got to know your audience. You got to know who you're trying to bring in. And you got to know the time windows. So group interviews, that's what we faced. The third thing we did was evergreen webinars to be able to put applicants into. But the problem was those applicants didn't have an opportunity to speak with somebody to build trust fast. When you're engaging with another human or in an interview itself, you're building trust with somebody. When we were using evergreen webinar content, we were educating people and preconditioning people. All that stuff is drastically important. Just like you watching this video, it's very important to be able to understand the context behind the content, which is the evergreen webinar style video. But that just means we had to get more applications on the front end to be able to go into our webinar for the proper amount of applicants to come out on the back end for our team to talk about, which just meant it costs more money for the evergreen webinar style system to work. And depending on your business, that might be what you want to do. That might be the most productive thing. But if you're on a budget or things are tight or you're bootstrapping this thing to get it off the ground, that strategy is going to limit your funnel too much. Okay. So with that being said, let's talk about before we jump into that, let's talk about what's holding you back. And this is referenced in a couple of other videos, but like All of this stuff that I just talked about, the one-on-ones, the group interviews, or the webinars, none of them are going to work if you don't have these things in play. If you don't understand what kind of volume needs to come through your pipeline, meaning the amount of applicants coming through or applying for your role to be able to come into your company, or if you're getting too many applicants and you start to get shadow banned, restricted, or blacklisted off the job boards because you're doing things the wrong way, even if it's not malicious in nature, if you're just doing it on accident due to you just don't you just don't understand how to do it. You don't have the systems, which is the tech and the sequencing and the funnels and the cadences. Maybe you don't have attractive enough of a position. You need to be able to understand like your recruiting pitch, your compensation plan. You need to really understand the industry at which you're trying to bring people into and your onboarding. If you don't have proper leadership or training or career advancement opportunities within the organization, your funnel doesn't matter. Your whole process doesn't matter. So you have to have this stuff, at least a game plan in place. So before we even talk about these three things, the one-on-ones, the group interviews, and the evergreen webinar strategy, you have to have some resemblance of this within your organization. And if you don't, obviously, shameless plug, we can definitely help you out with that. But at the end of the day, it's not overly complex. It's just repeating what somebody else has done in the past. Because there are thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of businesses that do this successfully. You can too. That's why we as a company exist. We've got the roadmap to be able to help you win. 20 plus one-on-one interviews per day, group overviews, or evergreen webinars. They all work. So what's this video all about? What matters is the sequence and the cadence at which these activities work. This is going to be different for every single type of business. And the moment you start this, you're going to have to iterate the process 5 or 6 or 7 times because you're going to face bottlenecks in the process. What do I mean by bottlenecks? If you get 100 applications and you try the evergreen webinar system and only one person makes it through the webinar, you've got a bottleneck. It means you don't have enough people engaging to be able to move through your sequence to be able to get a hire. On the opposite end of that, if you get 100 applicants and you book 20 plus one-on-ones a day and your whole calendar is booked up and you get all these no-shows and people not showing up, you're not preconditioning them well enough. They don't know what they're opting into and they don't trust the process, right? So both sides of the coin here, or all of them, are very important. It's just understanding at which, what should that sequence look like so you optimize every stage of the process. So here's what we did. We incorporated all 3 of these in the exact same sequence. Instead of in our new company, in this company, High Ticket Teams, this is what we help businesses optimize. We grew a company to multiple 8 figures in 3.5 years using all 3 of these processes just individually, not together. I told you about the pain points we face, which you're probably facing as well. But how do we optimize that? We brought them all together. So let's talk about it. I'll give you a visual aid. Stick to the end of this video because at the end, we are giving away our Miro board, kind of our snapshot whiteboard of how all of this comes together so you can evaluate it, try to understand it. Heck, even if you want to book a meeting with our team to be able to talk about it and try to figure out how roadmap out your strategy where you're going, that's what our team's here for, just to be able to help serve you and give you that roadmap. So again, back to the content. I just want to make sure that you guys stick till the end, you understand this stuff. But the group interview strategy, we did this in 2 different formations. I'll talk about a callback window strategy and a group interview strategy to be able to help you scale and grow. And these aren't the only 2 ways. They're just a way that we do this, right? So we incorporated, what we did was we took the applications, we invited them to a group interview. Let's say that group interview was booked for tomorrow. And we book, in this example, we had 15 spots, 7 people actually booked into that group interview. At the exact same time, we sent them the evergreen webinar. So hopefully that they would watch it before they showed up. Are all of them going to watch it? No, but a lot of the right ones will. And what's that going to do for the right person? Instead of it creating a bottleneck, they're running parallel paths where somebody can evaluate the company, the role, the compensation plan, the career trajectory, the leadership of the company by watching the video. That way, when they show up to the group, they're going to learn the information twice. And as human beings, we need to learn information more than one time for it to sink in. That's just human psychology. You can't just listen to something once and get it all. But they're going to come with the proper mind to learn again. Is everyone going to be like that? No, but the right ones will. So we invite them to the group interview. We send them the evergreen webinar, which is video content. It's a one-way interview style system. If they opt all the way through, we offer them an opportunity at the end to be able to conduct a one-way interview, meaning submit video or audio or text answers to a question. And if they do that, we'll give them an opportunity to book a one-on-one schedule with the hiring manager. So now you're spending your time one-on-one with people who are showing the most interest. And if they sent a video, an audio, or text back and you didn't like the answer, you can always cancel the interview and say, hey, I'm sorry, we're not going to move forward with your candidacy. Of course, that's not what we're all looking to do. We want to bring on the right people, but you don't want to waste your time with the wrong people. So by having all these options as parallel paths moving through the funnel, there's going to be people that show up to the group interview. There's going to be people that opt in all the way through and show up to the one-on-one. If they booked a one-on-one on your schedule for tomorrow from 4 to 4:30, you can go, oh, interesting. Let me check out the candidacy of this guy. You can look at their resume again. You can watch the video that they submitted. And if they're like, have a shirt with holes in it and they've got a gold tooth and that's not your company culture, then you can immediately cancel the interview. You can say, hey, I'm not going to spend time with this guy. I just saved myself a huge headache because this guy revealed who he was. You're going to get some of that on the group interview, but you just got to be able to roll with that. Callback window strategy. This saved us a ton of time. If you are like me and you've ever moved into an apartment or a new house or to some new place, and you've ever set up like your cable and internet to your new house, what do? They provide a callback window to you. They say, hey, great, we'll come and set up the cable and internet in your house and we'll be there between 12 and 5 tomorrow. And you're like, great, okay, I just got to be home between 12 and 5. So I'm home, I'm ready. So when somebody knocks on the door, I know they're going to set up my cable and internet. We applied the exact same strategy. Instead of booking multiple one-on-one and one-on-ones all day, every day, and having 30-minute blocks where people no-showed us, we booked them into callback windows. Meaning in this example, this is one of our clients, Freaks Family Home Development, where we booked 10 people into a 2-hour callback window. So if 10 people opted into the callback window, now you can make a call outbound to the candidate who booked their interview. And if they don't answer, you move on to the next one. You didn't burn 30 minutes of your time. You just burned 30 seconds of your time. Listen, they might have just missed the call. Maybe they'll call you back in an hour. Maybe they didn't recognize the number. They don't pick up numbers or something like that, right? You don't know the reason why. You can always text them and follow up with the candidate. It's not as seamless all the time, but at least it buys you back the time. So this callback strategy, you'll be surprised. I've talked to companies that do multiple 8 figures, 9 figures. They have sales forces of thousands and thousands of people, and they don't do this. They book one-on-ones onto their calendar or group interviews, and the drop-off rate is significant. This callback strategy is one of the best that we've ever implemented. Once you get to a certain volume of applicants coming through every single day, this strategy then overwhelms your calendar. If you have a manageable number and you're spending, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000, $4,000 a month on ads, and you're bringing candidates through your process, this is going to be one of the most optimal processes to implement into your strategy because it's going to save you a lot of time. So instead of being booked up for 8-9 hours a day with interviews and actually only spending 3 to 4 hours of your time, you could book 2 callback windows and get it done in an hour and a half. And you still have a whole calendar open to be able to do training, onboarding, conduct sales, lead the operations on the back end of your team. Whatever your role is, it frees you up. But you need the proper system to be able to get people into these interviews. Again, that's why we help, but you'll see that in action here on the screen. Here is the kicker. This is something that we do as a company, and you can go online and try to implement this yourself. But just know, if you're at a place where you're incorporating all 3 of these strategies, leveraging AI, listen, I would say this is even the AI revolution nowadays, where AI is going to take over the world to some degree or fashion. And in all forms of our life, who knows, like 5 years from now, we'll all have a Tesla robot or some other variant of that in our house, like taking care of our kids and washing our clothes and making us food. But for now, AI is being implemented into a lot of different businesses. And it's not just AI is cool. It's how do we leverage the tools to be able to create a return on investment within our company? It's like the first time that farmers had employed hundreds of people to be able to go into the field and pick the corn, pick the strawberries, or whatever it is, Then the tractor was invented. Yes, they had to invest some money to be able to buy the tractor, but they now don't have to have hundreds of people. They had one tractor doing the same amount of work. That's what technology does, guys. AI is that thing right now. So what we've done and what you can do is incorporate AI in the pre-vetting and confirming of candidates in the vetting process. So again, that's a snapshot of our Miro board, which we'll send to you guys, but we do have multiple different AI tools that we use for interviewing that either can make outbound dials to your candidates up to hundreds, if not thousands at a time. Imagine having all of those preconditioning callback window style interviews all being done in the first 10 minutes of your day, which normally would have taken 8+ hours of your day and people getting lost in the process. Imagine getting 100 applicants in and AI talks to 20 of them right away. And then all of a sudden you log into the AI platform and you see a 13-minute interview, an 8-minute interview, a 9-minute interview, a 12-minute interview, a 20-minute interview. And you're like, holy cow, I didn't have to do any of this work. That's where AI is nowadays, where you can even use it in your evergreen webinar style format. So you don't have to cut a bunch of video content. I promise you, I'm not AI right now. I'm a real person. But you can use it in preconditioning of your candidates, confirming callbacks, and actually conducting the interviews. And there are so many different tools on the internet. Just Google AI calling systems or AI interviewing tools and things like that. They exist out there. It's going to cost you some money. Okay. Could cost you $1,000 a month, $1,400 a month, $2,800 a month. I know we spend thousands upon thousands of dollars every single month for this infrastructure to work for our clients, and they don't pay that. Having a developer team or hiring somebody from Upwork to build out the promptings and things like that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this video is not about AI. It's just trying to share with you how you can use these tools within your sequences to optimize your sequence and eliminate no-shows on your calendar and buy back a lot of your time. So we'll probably have other video content on how this stuff is actually set up. But at the end of the day, our company has all this stuff set up. There's a lot of tools on the internet if you're going to opt into it yourself. But that's the idea. I remember one of our clients, we get about 100 to 200 applicants a day for them. Let's say today we get 100 applicants. Tomorrow morning, we're booking about 20, we're actually not booking, but we are completing 25 interviews with AI within the first hour of every single day. Where before that, we had people on staff that would make calls or jump on video for 8 to 9 hours a day and get the exact same result. That's the power of AI to be able to help you vet through your applicant pool so that you can dedicate your time and energy to build trust with the right ones. It could just be a recorded callback that you can go back and listen to, or there are tools out there just like we have where it gives you scoring metrics on the applicant and their English proficiency. They give you the overall enthusiasm of the candidate and give you summaries on what they talked about and how it fits. It's all about, it's the tool's not the important thing. It's how you use the tool to optimize your business. If you meet with our team, we can walk you through how this works, give you free tips and tricks and things like that. But if you're looking to save time, save money, meet with our team today, get the Miro board, start to understand the concepts of this. So with that being said, let's roadmap out your successful recruiting strategy. You know, the two tools that we have that can help you, whether you met with our team or not, is our Miro board, which is again, that whiteboard style system to be able to help you get a bird's eye view of what can be accomplished. It's not theory out of a textbook. It's actually what we do as a company. We're not here to sell secrets. We're here to give those secrets away. We know the right people are going to want this to be done for them. But if you're at a stage where it's like, you're trying to figure this thing out, build some momentum, we want to be able to give you the tools to do that. We also have our volume-based recruiting calculator. This is incredibly important. You need to get access to this some way, somehow, immediately as fast as possible, because although the idea, especially if you're brand new, volume-based recruiting, a lot of people are attracted to the concept of bringing on commission-only salespeople because they're like, I don't have to spend money on salaries. This is great. This is going to save me a lot of money. Yes, it will, but it just changes where you invest the money. Instead of making a bet and putting it all on red and giving this big salary to this one person and hoping they pan out, you have to invest the money over time to be able to bring the candidates in the door. So you hire enough of the right people and they help you and work with you to take your company to the moon in regards to revenue. That calculator is going to show you exactly how to do it, to know exactly how much you need to invest every single, like whether it's weekly, monthly, or whatever it is, figure out how much money you have to invest. And it's going to show you how much profit you make every single time you hire somebody, which is not typically how somebody would view this. Typically, they think, how much do I have to spend to get a hire? If you're thinking that, you need the access to our calculator, because this calculator is going to show you exactly how much money you make over time if you're consistent in this volume-based recruiting game. So with that, definitely check us out. Again, like, subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of giveaways. We've got applicants we're going to give to you for free, not on your Indeed account or LinkedIn or on ours. We'll set up your jobs at different times of the year. We'll be having different masterminding sessions or invite only sessions that don't cost you anything. If you partake in it, we'll give you guys applicants and help you kickstart this process, build some trust with our company. At the end of the day, if you want to work with us, great. If you don't, you just want to access our tools, awesome too.